Hi, it's Mika and we are at 42 Gear Street. We are with RJ Ronquillo.
Kilio. You got it.
Yeah, and we are having a guitar moment.
Yes.
What we kind of have spoken now is if RJ, he seems to be very willing to share some of his favorite guitar things with us.
Yeah.
And maybe he shows some licks that I try my best to follow.
I'm sure you can get it.
And yeah, and it's just like we try to keep this a friendly chat and a moment and good guitar fun. So what are your favorite things on the guitar?
You know, I was thinking about it, and lately I learn something new every day. It's amazing. You know, I'll just sit on my couch, as probably you do or whatever, and just kind of noodle and discover new things about guitar. And, you know, we're roughly the same age. And we've played...
I think we are born.
When did you start playing?
We were born in the same year, which doesn't need to be said here. But I started playing, it's kind of a little bit... hard to, maybe 10, 11, 12, around that time.
So, same with me. Like I started around 10 years old, and it's amazing that I'm still learning things to this day and discovering. That's probably why I love playing guitar, is because you're constantly coming up with things and it doesn't get old. So like, I don't know, you know, some of the things that I like to do now, and it's funny because like my playing I have phases where I get into different types of music. You know, I'll listen to so many different types of music, whether it's jazz, rock, metal, funk, fusion, all that stuff. So I get influenced by different things all the time. So my playing will change as I age or whatever. So my playing's totally different than it was a year ago. So like the things that I have been listening for or trying to do, and I feel like I see it in your playing as well, is just kind of... notes that are not on the frets of the guitar. You know, we're talking about quarter tones, the in-between notes, and really using the guitar as kind of like a vocal instrument, kind of vocalizing on the guitar, which is, I'm not great at it, but like, I don't know, some of the things that I will do, like, if I'm in, let's go to A. That's a nice guitar. So I'll take that triad and hit, instead like, someone might play like, or,
how do you exactly do that?
Essentially the notes I'm hitting are, but I'll bend some of them, so, how do I choose that? So I'll bend up to the third.
So you actually use the like two finger.
It depends.
That's the first thing. When I bend, I tend to bend a lot with my forefinger.
Okay.
But I don't think I can do that. But
But
when I do it like you, with two fingers, it feels different. It maybe helps me to do that.
Yeah, it helps you get to that note a little bit because you're holding it longer a little bit. And a lot of times, it's almost like you're playing slide guitar. It's that effect of... it's similar to slide.
Raising, like approaching and finally finding the pitch. Like
exactly. Yeah, I guess I will do that. Like, and I think because I like to have two fingers for that leverage, so I'll bend, fret, bend,
And 2 fingers.
Yeah.
Oh, is it? Oh.
Depends how fast I play. They're like. Yeah.
Yeah. It's weird, very weird for me to have the 2 fingers.
Yeah.
Because I would do.
Yeah. Exactly. And it's different for a lot of guitar players because, you know, if we're talking about a pentatonic scale, we're so used to bending that note and that note. Maybe that note.
Yeah, the ones where you have a lot of...
Yeah, so bending with your first finger can be kind of foreign to some guitar players, which is... I was in the same boat. I was so used to bending these notes and these notes and not using that to bend other than like doing like a B.B. King, that type of thing.
I gotta tell
vibrato.
You, what made me use the 4-finger for bending was, well, there are 2 reasons. I many times end up in weird places and I hear a note and I have to do I hear it bended. But one thing that it was a period when I had a guitar that didn't stay in tune, and I used to do a lot of like a... Yeah. And it was... I tried to... I took my arm out because the guitar didn't stay tuned with any vibrato work. So what I did was I just pre-bend and release.
Yeah.
And it was very... It made sense.
Yeah.
So
what some players would do with the vibrato, you were doing with your fingers.
Yeah, but now I might do it with both. Like whatever, they sound different.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
I think the vibrato has a little bit more mechanic kind of... Well, I don't know, but I think when you do it by bending, it has more organic kind of...
You can feel where the note's going better than if you have a bar, especially because every guitar is going to be set up different.
True,
so you have
that
to
is true.
know how the bar is going to react. So it's almost like a safer thing when you're doing it with your
that's
fingers.
one of the reasons why I'm a one guitar kind of guy.
Yeah.
I really I've always been like that. I always kind of play only one
You know
guitar.
how your guitar is going to work and everything.
Yeah, it kind of gets...
There's another thing that I do, and that one of those licks reminded me something I just discovered recently, which I'm sure a lot of people do, but it's this thing where just like randomly I might be hitting, playing bluesy stuff, and I'll go this thing where I do like really quick, which people were telling me sounds like a Vi thing,
Well, like when you do that.
That you would do, that he does, or you do, or he does with like the whammy bar. Wah, 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 wah. Like I think it's an Attitude song or something.
Yeah, it's possible.
But just using that little bit to, and that's kind of how I approach improvising. Is like I like to stay in the box and then hint at a little bit of weird things or outside things. So like if I was playing a blues, using those 2 techniques that I was just showing you.
Yeah.
That's not, I mean, like I love playing traditional blues, but sometimes it's fun to shake a little bit of that stuff in there.
Extra spice or garlic.
Yeah, it grabs the listener's attention, and it grabs my attention too. So that's kind of like where I'm at as far as like developing my style, is taking what I like to do or what I know and adding a little extra on top of it. Yeah. Just a little bit. Yeah. Because I'm not a shredder, really.
Yeah, well, but anyway, it's kind of like if your all playing starts to rely on all that weird stuff. Yeah. Weird stuff. It might alienate you from music, and your audience might kind of feel. But it's little just right amount of those things can kind of make it more interesting. Yeah, and those are the kind of things that makes it sound like personal and kind of separate. It's the way you bend your strings and do all those very subtle things.
Yeah, it's about using what you know and having the right ratio, having the right amounts of certain things, and to combine them into something musical as opposed to playing everything yet in one solo. And so that's one of the hardest parts about being a musician and developing your own style and your own voice, I think, is you can learn so much, but what are you going to do with it, and how are you going to present it? I think that's what separates maybe like a good musician from a great musician, or what I hear in other players such as yourself are the little nuances that catch my ear.
Somehow some elements that kind of make the personality come out, and kind of is somehow a little bit different than maybe someone else.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's not about playing exactly like your guitar heroes, or it's the beginning. When you start playing, you try to learn all these, learn from the great masters, but then at some point you start feeling that, okay, what now, and where's maybe you start asking, where's my personality? How do I come in?
And that's kind of what I kind of struggled with, because I went to music school, and then I started working as a musician, kind of like a session touring guy, and I was doing that for so many years, but it hit me. Other people were telling me that I didn't have my own style, I didn't have my own voice. Like, who's RJ? Like, what does RJ sound like? And for many years, I'm like, I sound like whatever you pay me to sound like.
Yeah.
But then, like, in recent years, I would say in the past 5 years, I, kind of discovered myself, like, so what kind of music is my personality? What how can I show my personality through my playing? And that's just, it's constantly developing as we speak.
Yeah, it does. And I know one of the reasons why I do these videos with other guitar players is kind of hear all these, hear them play and show some of their favorite things, but also kind of like hear their views on things. And I can totally relate to all those things. Should we play a little something? I don't know.
We can try to play. We're kind of tied to one amp.
We are.
Play something, and I'll play over it and see what it sounds like. And
okay. I'll try to keep myself a little lower. All right, this is RJ
Ronquillo,
and my name is Mika, and go to check his channel because he has a lot of all sort of tutorials. What kind of content do you do?
I do gear demos, I do lessons, I do vlogs, I get tone tips, tutorials, stuff like that.
Yeah, and he does long streams. I was watching a little bit of his stream, and he did like really cool stuff there.
That's fun.
Yeah. And yeah, check him out, subscribe, and you won't be disappointed. And thanks for watching. And this was from 42 Gear Street, and we were playing Ruokangas guitars, by the way, this time. And that's the Valbucker, and this is the humbucker. And
so you have your neck pickup sound, and then your twang. So moving on.
Yeah, go ahead.
Ooh.
yeah, thanks to all these wonderful companies. We have Hosa cables and Zoom recorders and Henning's video cameras and lighting and educator amplifiers.
Lots of candy too. There's lots of candy.
Candy, Haribo candies, and Triumph Mark III was this, by the way. Humble thank you to RJ for the great lesson and sharing the lick and ideas with all of us. I guess I just got so carried away with the technique, how to perform that lick, that I completely missed the whole main point of the lesson or the lick, which was the in-between notes that he was talking about in the first place. What I mean with this is if you compare the way we play the lick, RJ and me, it's the way I play the bend. I bend a half step there. Where if you listen to RJ's playing, he's playing like more, he has more authentic sound. It's not only that he's using more like a humbucker kind of sound that he gets out of that Valbucker guitar, but also that his bend is not actually a half step, it's the quarter or something like that in between note. So please go back and listen the difference between my version and RJ's version, and give it a little thought and try it out. Where I guess I am, as a guitar player, so used to kind of making sure that I bend the notes to really the right pitch. It's so easy to kind of get stuck to that idea, but in the blues sound, the real sound is somewhere else. So please pay attention to that. I forgot to do that myself, but now you can do it. Thanks for watching.